In the year 1347, as the bubonic plague cast its deadly shadow over Europe, my tale began. Amidst the death and despair, our hidden war raged on. For eons, my clan, the Loup-Garou, clashed with the grotesque Nosferatu Vampurus, vampires capable of disguising themselves as werewolf-like creatures, yet not true werewolves. Once, we coexisted in peace, but the blood wars shattered our unity, fracturing our factions with devastating force. The deepest betrayal came with the assassination of my beloved wife, Aelinala. The pain was indescribable, a torment that tore through my soul. In vengeful fury, my father, Lord Romulus, hunted down the assassin, Lieutenant Thorin, across the blood-soaked land. Shadows whispered of Thorin's fate as our clan sought retribution. The brutality of the assassination mirrored the plague's devastation, locking both sides in a relentless dance of death and vengeance. The memory of Aelinala's smile haunted me, fueling my unyielding drive for justice. The darkness, both the plague and our internal strife, forged a legacy of sorrow and bloodshed, etching our pain into the annals of history. My father, Lord Romulus, confronted Lieutenant Thorin, demanding retribution for Aelinala's assassination.
Lieutenant Thorin, I see through your veil of lies and disguise. You assassinated my son's wife, Aelinala. I must take revenge upon you.
Lord Romulus, Aelinala was supposed to be with me, not your son. She betrayed me and I loved her.
Thorin, she was never yours to take. For your blasphemy and betrayal, you shall pay dearly.
A challenge was issued, a battleground chosen in the forest's shadowy depths. There, amidst ancient trees and creeping darkness, two combatants prepared for war. As they shed their human guises, the earth trembled beneath their monstrous forms. The air grew cold, thick with anticipation, and the forest held its breath, bearing witness to an impending clash that would reshape the night. A gruesome fight erupted as the bubonic plague ravaged Europe, casting an additional shroud of death over the land. In the chaos, my father, Lord Romulus, ended the life of Lieutenant Thorin von Vlad, a high-ranking assassin of the Nosferatu clan. From the shadows, Thorin's son, Vincent von Vlad, witnessed his father's brutal demise. Fueled by rage and sorrow, Vincent vowed vengeance, igniting a ferocious war between our clans amid the plague's devastation. The bloodshed was relentless, our battles as unyielding as the plague sweeping through Europe. The once thriving Nosferatu and Loup-Garou clans were reduced to ashes, leaving only two survivors, Vincent von Vlad, the last of the Nosferatu, and myself, Lord Darius, the sole remnant of the Loup-Garou. Witnessing his father's death had twisted Vincent's soul. His promise of revenge became a haunting mantra, echoing through the years. His eyes burned with a vendetta that transcended time, targeting not just me, but all future generations of my bloodline. The weight of his curse was a shadow that lingered over my every step, an ever-present specter of impending doom. As the final battle commenced, the air grew thick with tension and unspoken dread. Vincent and I, the last remnants of our clans, clashed in a ferocious, desperate struggle. Each strike was fueled by centuries of hatred and loss, the culmination of a war that had consumed countless lives. The outcome would decide the fate of our cursed legacy, a fight to the death with no promise of peace. Vincent fled the scene, hastily, seething with rage. I had spared his life, but he vowed to exact his vengeance upon me. As centuries passed, I remained in my human form, hiding from the past. Eventually, I moved to the United States, choosing the vibrant and welcoming city of New Orleans. The bustling life of the city was a stark contrast to the grief that still gnawed at my soul. Grief for my assassinated wife and the obliterated Loup-Garou clan. After 670 years, fate played a cruel trick on me. I found her, a woman who was the spitting image of my beloved Aelinala. Her resemblance was uncanny, her beauty captivating. Her name was Kimberly, and I introduced myself as Darius. In 3 months, we fell deeply in love, and a year later, our daughter Anila was born. Despite the happiness, an ever-present dread haunted me. It was forbidden to have relations with a human, a sacred rule of our clan that I had recklessly ignored. Moreover, I knew Vincent would eventually seek me out, driven by his vow of vengeance. The danger was too great. I had to protect Kimberly and Anila, so I left them behind, vanishing into the shadows to keep them safe from the horrors of my past. Now, as I remain absent from their lives, Kimberly is left unaware of the dark legacy that shadows us. My attempt to shield them has only delayed the inevitable confrontation. She tells her side of the story, a tale of love lost, and the terror that crept into her life when my deepest nightmare came to fruition.
Hello, I'm Kimberly. As I recount this harrowing tale, Ephesians 6 verse 12 echoes in my mind, warning of battles beyond the physical, where human struggles clash with sinister forces. A chill runs down my spine, a premonition tightening its grip. My name, a mere whisper against the encroaching darkness, reflects my fragile existence as I navigate this perilous journey with my daughter, Anila. Even though Darius and I are apart now, we remain very close. After the breakup, Anila and I decided to move back to Atlanta, while Darius settled in Hartford, Connecticut. Our journey from Atlanta, Georgia, to Hartford, Connecticut was more than just a road trip. It was an escape from the mundane, a desperate flight into the unknown. This pilgrimage was our way of reuniting with Darius, Anila's father, and my ex-fiancé. Each summer, we undertook this annual voyage, driven by a longing to break free from routine and discover new horizons, finding solace in our shared past as we sought to create new memories. As the sun dipped below the horizon, night's oppressive mantle enveloped the world. The moon hung low and swollen, casting an eerie, watchful eye over the darkness that consumed our path. The winds whispered through the trees, carried a sinister, ancient tune that sent icy shivers down my spine. The night sky stretched out like an endless abyss, and I gripped the steering wheel with a mixture of determination and foreboding. The highway before us was a ribbon of asphalt, fading into the impenetrable black void. As we approached Florence, South Carolina, an unsettling stillness enveloped the town. An abandoned car loomed in the darkness, a grim testament to misfortune. There were no signs of life, no traces of a rescue attempt. A chill of foreboding settled over me as I chose to press on, my mind weaving tales of forsaken places and forgotten souls. The isolation deepened with each mile we traveled, the darkness growing denser. Then, out of the abyss, a figure emerged, a lone hitchhiker, standing sentinel on the deserted roadside. His sudden appearance, like a phantom conjured from the night, stirred a mixture of empathy and trepidation within me. Despite the unease that prickled my senses, I stopped the car, extending an offer to the enigmatic traveler. "Hello, sir. Do you need a ride to the next town?"
Yes, thank you for giving me a ride.
He introduced himself as William Vincent, his name reverberating with a strange resonance. Curiosity and apprehension tangled within me as I questioned his presence amidst the moonlit void. His response, a mirthless grin, hinted at secrets lurking beneath his calm exterior. William accepted our invitation, sliding into the car with an unsettling grace. As we continued our drive, his words flowed like a hypnotic chant, enchanting yet deeply unsettling. Despite the beguiling nature of his conversation, a gnawing unease burrowed into my thoughts, like a persistent worm. Our destination, Beaufort, South Carolina, appeared as a fleeting sanctuary beneath the vast, dark sky. By the time we arrived, the clock's hands pointed toward midnight. Vincent handed us a token of thanks, a gesture that felt oddly hollow. As he vanished into the night's embrace, an unsettling chill clung to my senses. I inquired about the abandoned car, only to be met with feigned ignorance. His retreating footsteps echoed ominously, and a shiver of realization crept over me. This night harbored secrets far darker than the shadows that danced upon the road. Exhausted, we sought refuge in a hotel, a temporary shield against the encroaching night. Yet, as darkness tightened its grip, We remained oblivious to the intricate web of fate that awaited us. Its threads spun with suspense and malevolence. The morning sunlight seeped into our hotel room, casting a wan and ineffectual glow upon a world that remained shrouded in dread. Anila and I stirred from restless sleep, only to be greeted by the haunting wail of distant sirens, a mournful, eerie symphony that curled around our senses, sending icy shivers down our spines. What has happened outside? All these police vehicles going down the street. We need to leave from here immediately. The mournful cries were directed towards a subdivision close to our temporary refuge, an ominous herald of the darkness that loomed near. A premonition, dark and unspoken, guided our actions with an unsettling precision. We hastily packed our belongings, the echoes of the sirens clinging to our minds like a chilling prelude. At the front desk, the clerk's face was ashen, their words sharp with dread. "Excuse me, could you please tell me what happened down the street from this hotel?"
Down the street, a family was erased in a brutal home invasion. The chilling reports revealed that the bodies were inexplicably drained of blood, their lives extinguished in an instant.
The absence of life's crimson essence hung in the air like a whispered curse, shrouding everything in mystery. We left the hotel in haste, unable to shake the sense of foreboding that clung to us. As the hotel receded into the distance, the weight of the unknown settled heavily upon us. Hours of road stretched endlessly beneath our tires, each mile thickening the fog of our unease. We found a brief respite in Fayetteville, North Carolina, seeking to momentarily soothe our frayed nerves. Anila's hunger led us to a convenience store, a mundane stop that quickly turned nightmarish. As we navigated the aisles, a sense of dread intensified. There, in the candy aisle, he appeared, William Vincent, a ghost from our past. His presence sliced through the veneer of normalcy like a cold blade. Time seemed to warp, stretching the moment into an eerie stasis. I approached him, my voice trembling. "Hello, William. What are you doing here in Fayetteville, North Carolina? I thought we left you behind in Beaufort, South Carolina."
Hey Kimberly, what a coincidence. I ended up leaving Beaufort after I heard about the murders.
The casual exchange only deepened the enigma of his presence. As our conversation unfolded, the questions grew. What cruel twist of fate had placed him here? Why now? An abrupt interruption shattered the tense atmosphere. My ex-fiancé Darius's name flashed on my phone.
Hello, Kimberly. How are you and Anila? I'm calling to check in after hearing about the homicides in Beaufort. Are you both all right?
Hey, Darius. We're okay. We left as soon as we could and are now heading towards Hartford, Connecticut. His voice was a lifeline, urgently warning me of the chilling news reports he'd seen. The murders, so close to our previous night's refuge, sent a cold shiver racing down my spine. Darius's plea was for vigilance, a desperate request to keep him informed of every move we made. Reality warped and twisted as Darius's words carved a deeper chasm between us and the ordinary world. William's voice intruded, an eerie whisper that seemed to resonate with shadows. His request for a ride to the next town was tinged with an unsettling undertone, a plea that promised to unravel our already frayed sanity. With a promise to call Darius back, I reluctantly agreed, my stomach knotting with foreboding.
Thanks for the ride, Kimberly. Can I offer you some gas money?
No, but thanks, William. Our journey, once a mere escape from routine, had transformed into a perilous waltz with darkness. As we drove towards the unknown, the road unfurled before us like a ribbon of dread. What horrors awaited in the next town's obscured shadows? What malevolent force had intertwined our fates with that of this enigmatic traveler? The answers seemed as elusive as the fading daylight, leaving us teetering on the edge of an abyss we could scarcely comprehend. The desolate road stretched endlessly, its silence punctuated only by the mournful whisper of tires against the asphalt. Beside me sat William Vincent, an enigma cloaked in human form, his presence a chilling shroud of mystery. Conversation unfolded like fragments of an intricate tapestry, revealing glimpses of his past. He spoke of a father murdered, a solitary link to a shattered lineage, obliterated by an unspeakable tragedy that had cast him into a pit of solitude and despair. The unspoken specter of his family's slaughter hung in the air, a malevolent force that had forever altered his destiny. Shadows danced in his eyes, the weight of his sorrow etched deep into his being. Our dialogue teetered on the edge of revelation, a dance with secrets too chilling to fully embrace. The road ahead stretched out, each mile a passage into an abyss of uncertainty. As Richmond, Virginia, loomed on the horizon, its facade of hidden depths and secrets beckoned. William's destination was Petersburg, Virginia, a sanctuary he spoke of with an almost reverent tone, his friend's shelter. Our conversation turned to Anila, his words carrying an undercurrent of tension that defied explanation. The atmosphere remained calm, but an unease lingered like a ghost at the edge of perception. As we neared Petersburg, the air grew thick with anticipation, the sky a heavy curtain, casting an oppressive shadow over our journey. The town revealed itself in haunting tranquility, its silence a stark contrast to the turmoil that gnawed at my insides. William's departure was marked by a subtle farewell, his words cloaked in a promise of future encounters, a rendezvous that fate had yet to unveil. Our path meandered into Richmond, a city alive with history and mystery. Anila's laughter echoed through its streets, a fleeting balm against the weight of the unknown. Yet, the tendrils of tension remained, drawing me into a phone call with Darius. His voice, laden with concern, revealed a resolve to join us, to shield us from encroaching darkness. Despite my protests, his promise of protection carried a whisper of dread, an ominous shadow that lingered on the edges of our conversation. Richmond unfurled its enigmatic beauty before us, offering a brief respite. Anila's excitement for her father's imminent arrival sparked a glimmer of hope amid the uncertainty. As the sun dipped below the horizon, we retreated to a hotel room, a temporary sanctuary from the relentless march of time. Night's embrace was implacable, casting a veil of shadows over the room. Exhaustion claimed Anila, her breath a soft lullaby against the encroaching darkness, but sleep eluded me, the tendrils of unease refusing to release their grip. The flicker of the television painted the room in an eerie hue as I fought the relentless pull of sleep. In that fragile space between wakefulness and dreams, a nightmarish vision shattered the boundary between reality and terror. William Vincent appeared before me, his form twisted and eyes aflame with an unholy light. A phantom of the night, he beckoned with a chilling allure, his presence a malevolent dance of shadows and whispers that clawed at my sanity. Awakened by a surge of terror, I was drenched in sweat, my heart pounding like a drumbeat of dread. The room was empty, yet the chill of the nightmare lingered, a remnant of its touch. The window, once securely shut, now yawned open, a portal to the unknown. The room bore the weight of the inexplicable, a gaping wound in my neck, a grotesque souvenir of a surreal encounter. Trembling hands concealed the wound beneath a hastily applied bandage. Fatigue's grasp was unrelenting, yet against every instinct, I surrendered to sleep's embrace once more. Slumber was fraught with uneasy dreams, a harrowing dance with shadows and whispers that defied understanding, weaving an unsettling tapestry of fear and apprehension. As the first spirals of morning light clawed their way through the curtains, I awoke from a restless slumber, weariness clinging to my bones like a haunting. My fingers traced the wound on my neck, a chilling reminder of an encounter that defied explanation. Another bandage shrouded the mark, its presence a thin barrier against the malevolent enigma that had woven itself into my reality. The television's glow flickered to life, casting eerie shadows upon the room. The news report blared, transforming the ordinary into the macabre. A car crash in Ettrick, VA, a spectacle of twisted metal and shattered lives. The victims, once whole, now lay dismembered, yet their bodies remained devoid of the very life essence that should have soaked their existence, a detail that gnawed at the edges of my consciousness, a puzzle piece that refused to fit. Beside me, Anila stirred, her innocence untainted by the horrors that lingered in the corners of my mind. We breakfasted in silence, the weight of unspoken fears hanging heavy between us. The hotel's doors closed behind us, and once more, we embarked on the road, the pavement a trail of mysteries, each mile an inch closer to the abyss. Washington, D.C. beckoned, a beacon of civilization amidst the enigma. The distance that separated us was mere hours, but in this realm of uncertainty, time flowed like molasses, a hesitant crawl toward the inevitable. Fredericksburg, Virginia emerged like an oasis, a gas station offering a brief respite from the relentless drive. Darius's voice echoed through my mobile phone, a lifeline in this sea of the unknown. His words carried concern, his promise to meet us in Baltimore, Maryland, a bittersweet reassurance. As I fetched sustenance from a fast food restaurant, the world shifted once more, unveiling the impossible, a revelation that shook me to my core. There, seated at an adjacent table, was William Vincent, an apparition from the depths of my unease. Our eyes locked, his voice a haunting echo that drew me into its clutches. Greetings were exchanged, and Anila's voice danced in the air.
Hello, Kimberly. Another coincidence? Or are you following me? Just kidding. You look tired. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay, William Vincent. What are you doing here? Curiosity battled with caution, my voice trembling as I asked the question that had haunted me since our first encounter. William Vincent's response was tinged with an eerie familiarity, his presence both comforting and foreboding. His eyes seemed to be portals to a realm beyond comprehension, drawing me deeper into a trance. The sense of uncanny familiarity between us intensified, as if our fates had been intertwined long before this moment. Even Anila's voice seemed to merge with the enigma, forming her own connection to William Vincent in the shadows. As I gazed at him, I felt an inexplicable urge to offer him another ride, a suggestion that left my lips unbidden, yet laden with consequences. The air grew heavy with suspense as the words hung between us, charged with a sense of inevitability. William Vincent's eyes bore into mine, as if he could see the very fabric of my soul. An unsettling chill crept down my spine, the weight of the moment pressing upon me. If you need a ride to Washington, D.C., William Vincent, you're more than welcome to join us.
You must have been reading my mind. I'd greatly appreciate the ride. Thanks for the offer.
Our journey, once a simple escape, had become a descent into the unknown, an intricate dance with darkness that promised to reveal the deepest secrets of our intertwined destinies. The road ahead was shrouded in shadows, each mile a step closer to an abyss that beckoned with chilling anticipation. The offer slipped from my tongue, a pact sealed in the shadows. His gratitude was palpable, a whisper beneath the surface. He extended payment, but it felt more like an exchange of destinies than currency. As we set forth from Fredericksburg, the world outside became a blur, our journey a hypnotic dance through landscapes and enigmas. The road unfurled beneath our tires, the weight of fatigue and uncertainty carving deep furrows in my psyche. Washington, D.C. loomed with its towering spires, an emblem of civilization amidst the abyss. Time became an elusive entity, its passage shrouded in a hazy blur as the sun descended, casting long shadows upon the city's labyrinthine streets. Anila's excitement surged, a palpable current cutting through the thick tension that had become our constant companion. Amidst the heart of the enigmatic city, we navigated its urban sprawl, the juxtaposition of beauty and unease painting a surreal canvas. William Vincent's voice pierced the disorienting fog, his words a dagger of perception.
You look exhausted, Kimberly. Are you alright? If you need any help with the driving, I'm here.
I'm all right, William Vincent. I just need a good night's sleep, but thank you for the offer. "I'll be fine," as he observed me, his eyes holding a knowing glint that pierced through my facade. The night draped itself around us, a cocoon of darkness wrapping our wearied frames in a claustrophobic embrace. Anila's eyelids drooped, her youthful resilience succumbing to exhaustion. Alone in the silence, my vigil began, dread and anticipation gnawing at my senses like a relentless predator. With an eerie haste, William Vincent vanished upon our arrival in the heart of Washington, D.C. William Vincent's departure was a bittersweet farewell, his figure swallowed by the city's pulsating lights as darkness cascaded like a velvet curtain upon our world. Yet, even in his absence, his essence lingered, an indelible imprint etched upon our path. Our footsteps led us to an unfamiliar hotel, its entrance cloaked in unsettling silence. The night whispered secrets, its voice a haunting melody weaving through the fabric of my dreams. Sleep's tender embrace pulled me into a realm where reality was a mere illusion. But the nightmare emerged like a storm cloud, William's figure materializing within the confines of the room, a grotesque form, his eyes burning with unholy fire. A symphony of fear pounded in my veins as I awoke, my body drenched in sweat, my heart an erratic drumbeat of terror. The open window, a chilling invitation, the inexplicable wound, a stark reminder that the enigma persisted, a malevolent presence lurking in the shadows. With trembling hands, I concealed the mark once more, a ritualistic act that offered little solace against the abyss threatening to swallow me whole. Anila, roused from sleep by the lingering specter of dread, gazed at me with fearful eyes. I reassured her with words I could barely believe myself, tucking her back into bed, all the while knowing that something far darker loomed in the periphery. Fatigue's relentless grip tightened, a vice threatening to crush my resolve. Sleep's siren call beckoned, but with it came hesitation, a reluctance to delve into the dreamscape that had become a theater of the uncanny. The night had left its mark, an indelible stain seeping into my very soul, tainting my perception and breeding suspicion. Within my mind, a cacophony of thoughts waged war, a symphony of doubts and questions resonating like an eerie dirge. The chance encounters with William Vincent were no mere coincidence. They were threads intricately woven into the tapestry of my existence. A dance with the unknown, a spellbinding rhythm drawing me closer, entangling my consciousness like spider silk. Inexplicably drawn, inextricably linked, the enigma of William Vincent's presence had become an inescapable labyrinth, a maze of secrets and riddles threatening to consume me whole. Amidst the ever-mounting death toll and unrelenting fear woven into the fabric of this journey, comprehension becomes a distant specter. Prayers rise, desperate pleas for divine protection, as the shadows of uncertainty draw closer. Gratitude swells for the presence of my ex-partner Darius, a beacon of hope amidst the gathering darkness. He materializes as a savior in this churning sea of uncertainty, a knight donning armor that glimmers with promise. Could it be that my entreaties have been heard, that a higher power intercedes on this treacherous path? The question hangs in the air, an inquiry dangling in the balance as we navigate the perilous landscape of this enigmatic odyssey. The gravity of my situation enveloped me like a shroud, a chilling reminder that danger lurked just beneath the surface of our reality. Weariness clung to me like a relentless specter, yet the urgency to gather myself and Anila propelled me forward. A whisper of foreboding crawled up my spine as we readied to leave Washington, D.C., a city that seemed to harbor secrets within its very shadows.
Good morning, D.C. This is Mason Collier from What's News. We're downtown, where a serial murderer is targeting the city's homeless. Please exercise caution when walking the streets at night. Police have a description of the suspect and are actively searching. We'll keep you updated as more details emerge. Stay safe out there. This is Mason Collier, signing off for What News.
The television's glow cast an eerie light upon the room, the news report slicing through the air like an icy blade. A serial killer, a predator on the loose, painted a macabre tableau of murder before us. Homeless lives extinguished, bodies grotesquely disfigured. Yet, one chilling detail persisted, a paradox that defied reason, the absence of blood, the unmistakable signature of an unholy artist. The weight of this revelation pressed down like lead in my chest as the puzzle pieces of horror began to interlock. Amidst this chilling revelation, Anila and I gathered our belongings and prepared to leave our temporary refuge. The wound on my neck, a constant and silent reminder of the otherworldly encounter, was rebandaged, a futile attempt to shield myself from the unknown. But I couldn't shake off the intangible darkness that loomed around me, a sensation that lingered at the edge of my senses, as if a malevolent presence was brushing against my very soul. As we embarked on our journey once more, the road ahead seemed ominous, and fate intervened with a surreal twist. Out of the thin air, as if conjured by some unseen force, William Vincent materialized on the highway again. His gaze was penetrating and intense, cutting through the dimness like a blade, and the unease that enveloped me grew thicker, like a fog that refused to lift. "William Vincent, how are you here? This can't be real."
Kimberly, what are the odds we find ourselves face to face yet again?
His eyes hypnotized me, casting an inescapable spell that stripped me of my willpower. I had no control over my mental faculties in that moment, feeling like a puppet manipulated by unseen strings. His request for a ride to Baltimore echoed around me like a haunting melody, each word laced with a strange allure. As our gazes locked, it was as though he was weaving an irresistible enchantment around my very being. An enigmatic trance enveloped me, my resolve crumbling beneath the weight of his plea. A plea that seemed to resonate from an abyss of secrets, drawing me ever deeper into its chilling depths. Gasoline flowed into the car's tank, propelling us further into the abyss. Baltimore beckoned, an hour's distance, a perilous divide between the known and the unknown. Despite my fatigue, William's gaze from the passenger seat was an ever-present enigma, his presence a constant reminder of a reality tinged with the surreal.
Kimberly, are you sure you're fit to drive?
William's voice pierced the fog of exhaustion, his eyes a haunting reflection of my fatigue. I felt an inexplicable compulsion, a strange force guiding me, and I found myself surrendering the wheel to him. It was as if something beyond my comprehension drove this decision, a surreal agreement that unfolded between us. As my senses dulled, a creeping numbness settled over me, and I relinquished control. Slumber claimed me with a grip that felt both comforting and sinister, wrapping Anila and me in its shadowy embrace. Darkness descended like a veil of oblivion, whispering secrets as the world dissolved into dreams. "I'm so exhausted, William Vincent. Can you take over driving for me? I feel like I'm slipping into a trance. I can barely keep my eyes open."
Don't worry, Kimberly. Relax and rest. I'll handle the driving. I'll make sure you and Anila get to your next destination safely.
William Vincent took control, a surreal transfer of power shrouded in the midnight hour. The line between waking and dreaming blurred, a symphony of uncertainty binding our destinies. I awoke in a cold sweat of terror, surrounded by unfamiliarity, my senses dulled by groggy confusion. The night's void enveloped us, a cloak hiding secrets far more sinister than before. William's voice cut through the darkness, a familiar yet chilling echo, his words dripping with unsettling satisfaction. His eerie delight at my disorientation was palpable, a haunting reminder of the fragile grasp I had on reality and the darkness that still enveloped me.
Ah, you're finally awake, Kimberly.
William Vincent, where are we? This stretch of highway doesn't look familiar.
Things have changed, Kimberly. We're on a different route to a new destination.
His words lingered in the air, a chilling embrace that sent shivers racing down my spine. My question, fraught with dread, collided with his malevolent grin, a grin that flirted dangerously with the abyss. The horrifying revelation emerged. Lutherville, Maryland, not Baltimore. A shift that transcended mere geography. His admission, spoken with a serene malevolence, obliterated the last vestiges of normalcy. An ominous undertone darkened his words, casting a suffocating shadow over our reality and intensifying my terror.
Kimberly, you need to know the truth. I am Vincent von Vlad, the last of my kind. I've hunted my nemesis for over 6 centuries, and the path has led me to you and Anela. I've gathered my strength to destroy him, but since he eludes me, I'll erase his legacy by ending both of you.
You're the killer, William Vincent, the predator that hunts in the night. Please, leave Anela out of this. She's innocent and has no part in your vendetta.
Anela is perfectly fine, Kimberly. She's just unconscious from what I slipped into her soda.
A shockwave of disbelief surged through me as his words struck deep. The journey's horrors, the string of murders, the web of carnage. It was all his doing, his twisted symphony of chaos. Desperation clawed at my insides as I confronted the truth, my voice trembling like a fragile whisper amidst the suffocating darkness, pleading for any shred of hope. His chilling assurance pierced the air, cutting deeper than any blade. My voice wavered, heart pounding, as I demanded answers to this waking nightmare. His sinister smile curled grotesquely, his words unfurling a twisted canvas of vengeance and despair. The atmosphere thickened with dread, each syllable a stroke of malevolence, painting our reality with the stark colors of terror.
I do this to seek revenge, Kimberly.
What have we done to deserve this, William Vincent? Why drag me and Anela into your twisted game?
Kimberly, remember the slaughter of my family? It was Darius's clan. I've tracked him here. His father's revenge ignited a centuries-old war between the Nosferatu Vampurus and the Loup-Garou. This isn't just a fight, it's a vendetta steeped in blood and hatred.
His tone dripped with malevolence, each word a sharp dagger aimed at my trembling heart. The question hung in the air, a desperate plea for logic amid the nightmare. But the grin that spread across his face was ghastly, a twisted reflection of darkness incarnate. His voice, filled with a sinister anticipation, wove a tale so horrific, it defied comprehension. Insanity seemed to grip his every word, revealing a truth that danced on the edges of madness. A chilling saga unfolded, a war between ancient species fueled by bloodlust and vengeance, a cycle of violence that had raged through centuries. The grim truth revealed itself. He sought redemption through my suffering, using me as a conduit for his vengeance against the Loup-Garou clan. My blood, untainted by vampire or werewolf lineage, held a twisted allure for him, a tool to bait his elusive prey. The car spun around me, my mind a whirlwind of terror as the monstrous reality closed in. My heart pounded like a frantic drum, my pulse echoing the dreadful symphony of fear that enveloped me. His intentions were clear, a chilling strategy to draw out his nemesis, and I was trapped in his web of malevolence. In that moment, I realized the true horror of my fate, a pawn in a game I never wanted to play, caught between forces beyond my understanding. Just as Vincent's fangs glinted with a deathly promise, salvation tore through the shadows. A blinding light sliced through the oppressive darkness, revealing a figure cloaked in mystery and resolve. It was Darius, my ex-fiancé, hurtling into the nightmarish scene with a fierceness that shattered the illusion of certain doom. He moved with a speed that seemed to defy reality, a force of righteous fury that seized Vincent and hurled him aside like a discarded wraith. Darius's presence was a beacon of hope, illuminating the abyss that had consumed us. His arrival felt like a divine intervention, a lifeline cast into the swirling chaos. Anela and I clung to the fraying edges of our sanity, terror and relief, mingling in a symphony of survival. The air buzzed with tension as the dust settled around us, a tangible reminder of the harrowing encounter. Darius's voice cut through the fog, his question sharp and urgent, a tether pulling us back from the brink of despair. His concern wrapped around us, grounding us in the aftermath of horror. It was an inquiry that demanded truth, a desperate plea for understanding amidst the ruins of our shattered reality.
Are you and Anila okay, Kimberly?
Yes, Darius, but Vincent is the serial killer. Please, we need your help.
Ah, you're finally here, Darius. After over 6 centuries, I have tracked you down. Tell Kimberly who you truly are. I will vanquish you and destroy everything you hold dear, you coward.
Darius, what is Vincent talking about?
Vincent, I warned you to abandon this quest for vengeance. We are the last of our lineages, and now, after all this time, you have hunted down my family. This ends now, and you will pay for what you've done. Kimberly, step back and keep Anila safe. I will deal with Vincent once and for all.
The revelation, illuminated by the cold light of the moon, unfolded with a sinister clarity. Vincent's taunting echoes reverberated like a dark anthem. As the night deepened, Darius shed his human guise, moonlight revealing his true form, a nightmarish amalgamation of beast and man, fur and fang. His transformation was a grotesque ballet of shadows and horror, where the monstrous truths of his existence were laid bare in the chilling embrace of the night. Vincent's grin, a grotesque parody of humanity, mirrored Darius's transformation, a nightmarish spectacle of ancient rivals locked in a primordial clash. As Darius shed his human veneer, his true form emerged under the moon's cold gaze, a beast of mythic ferocity, fur and fang woven into a monstrous symphony. His resolve was a primal roar, an urgent call for Anila and me to retreat into the darkness, to bear witness from the shadows as these titans battled beneath the canopy of night. The forest trembled with their rage, the earth convulsing under their relentless assault. Once, majestic trees toppled like paper in their savage war, each impact resonating like a grim drumbeat. The clash was a macabre ballet of fury, where each blow was a staccato of pain and vengeance. The air was thick with the coppery stench of blood and the oppressive weight of their conflict, a visceral reminder of the savage depths of their enmity. As they grappled for supremacy, their monstrous forms wove through the darkened woods, a living testament to an age-old vendetta that carved its mark into the heart of the night.
For a time, the battle raged on, victory eluding both combatants as they clashed amidst the gnarled roots and eerie moonlight. Their movements were a blur, swift and lethal, resembling phantoms dancing through the shadows. It was a gruesome spectacle, a harrowing testament to the unquenchable thirst for vengeance that had festered across centuries. With each strike, the forest echoed with the feral growls and snarls of ancient enemies locked in eternal combat. But as the relentless duel wore on, the tide slowly shifted in Vincent's favor. Darius's strength began to falter, his movements growing sluggish. A sinister smile twisted Vincent's grotesque visage, his victory nearly assured. Darius, now battered and seemingly defeated, hung limply in the air, suspended by his foe, his fate resting in Vincent's merciless hands.
After centuries, you've weakened, Darius. Your defeat will be my greatest triumph, and then I'll feast on your loved ones.
Vincent's chilling words rang with sinister intent, a millennia-old vendetta propelling him towards the brink of madness. His thirst for vengeance was unyielding, casting an unholy shadow over everything. As he spoke, the abyss of despair yawned before us, eager to swallow our remaining hope. His malicious grin was a promise of torment, his gaze locking onto us with icy precision. Anila and I were no longer mere witnesses. We were destined to become his final act of gruesome retribution, a grotesque crescendo in his symphony of hatred. The air grew thick with dread, a cold hand clutching my heart as Vincent's intentions veered ominously towards us, sealing our fate. In what seemed like a divine intervention, Darius rose from the brink of defeat, defying the impossible. A surge of unparalleled strength coursed through him, and with a raw fury that defied the very laws of nature, he seized Vincent. The clash between them reached its cataclysmic crescendo, the air thick with tension and primal rage. Darius's grip was relentless, his determination unshaken, as he drew upon every ounce of willpower. With a roar that pierced the night, Darius tore a limb from a towering tree, its massive form a testament to his unyielding resolve. In a moment that seemed to transcend time, he drove the limb through Vincent's grotesque body, wrenching out the vampire's heart. Vincent's sinister grin remained frozen in a grimace of disbelief, his life force ebbing away. The world held its breath as his body crumpled to the ground, lifeless and devoid of the darkness that had fueled his existence for so long. I rushed to Darius's side, my heart heavy with dread and sorrow as I beheld his grievous wounds. Tears streamed down my face, mirroring Anila's cries for her father. As his form shifted back to human, the pain and weariness etched deeply across his features. Darius whispered truths long hidden in the shadows. His voice, weakened by battle and the weight of untold secrets, trembled with raw honesty, each word cutting through the night air. Amidst the darkness and bloodshed, Darius unraveled the enigma that had shrouded our past. The reasons for our separation, once a mystery veiled in silence, found voice in his confession. A curse that bound him to the duality of human and beast, a struggle that had spanned centuries. In his eyes, I glimpsed the torment that had haunted him, the fear that had severed our ties. It was a look that spoke of battles fought within and without, and the agony of a love sacrificed for a truth too heavy to bear.
I always knew this day would come, Kimberly. I'm truly sorry for leaving you and Anila. My past, my lineage, has always cast a shadow over us, a specter of danger that I couldn't escape. Please forgive me. I love you both dearly, and this final sacrifice is for you and Anila.
His final breath escaped as a fragile exhale, carrying a plea for forgiveness and understanding. The words hung in the air, etched into the silence of the night, a haunting testament to the broken heart that spoke them. As the last vestiges of life slipped away, Darius's form crumbled to dust, his existence reduced to a poignant memory. The echo of his sacrifice lingered, and the wind carried away the remnants of his being, leaving behind only the shadow of his memory. Anila and I clung to each other in the aftermath, our tears mingling with the earth as we shared in our profound sorrow. The weight of our loss settled upon us like a heavy shroud. The truth of our past, long obscured, lay bare before us. It all converged in that somber moment, leaving us adrift in a world forever altered. In the pale light of dawn, the shadows seemed to stretch and whisper secrets of the ancient war that had claimed our lives. The timeless struggle between vampires and werewolves, a conflict woven into the very fabric of our history, had finally reached its grim conclusion. Yet, even in the depths of despair, a flicker of hope remained. For amidst the darkness, we had borne witness to a tale of heroism and malevolence, where the line between triumph and sorrow blurred into a tapestry of human emotion. This is my tale, a story carved from the enigma of the world, where light and shadow intertwine in a dance of eternal conflict. My name, Kimberly, stands as a testament to the enduring battle between good and evil. As I navigate a future marked by loss and resilience, one truth prevails. The ceaseless war between darkness and light endures, forever shaping the course of our destinies. In this world, where monsters and heroes tread the same path, the legacy of Darius' sacrifice will guide us toward a brighter dawn, where shadows yield to the promise of a new beginning. Anila, what's wrong, sweetheart? Your dad saved us. We're safe now.
Mommy, I don't feel good.